Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Day after Thanksgiving for most of us. Not all. Hey, Gwen. Good to see you, Broke Cowgirl Homestead. Hello, Holman's Homestead. Good to see you guys. Hope everybody's staying warm and dry and whatever applies. It's impossible for me to cover it all because currently we are seeing snow, which is a good thing because we want snow. We just don't want really cold, but this weekend is going to be seriously cold. Hello, about 6 acres. Good to see you. Hey, Lisa Colovi. Good to see you. Yeah, we are 26 now. The temps have been dropping very steadily and fast. Hey, Rebecca, Touched by Yarn. Good to see you. Yeah, Annette, the Cow Emporium. Apparently, what was by you is clipping us and moving on to Iowa and going to hit them pretty rough with about a foot of snow. We're going to get 2 to 4 inches is what they're saying, but they say more like 2. But we're going to be 7 degrees tonight. Oh, we're going to be 18 for the high tomorrow and Saturday. I'm sorry, Saturday and Sunday, 18 for the high, -3 and 9 for the next 2 nights after tonight. And then we'll go back up to 29. We won't see above freezing until Tuesday, which is bleh, very cold. Yes, very cold, about 6 acres. Very, very cold. But I'm complaining, but I shouldn't because we had a very long fall. It was super amazing. I truly believe the greenhouse lasted as long as it did because we had a mild fall. I looked at the cabbage in the greenhouse and I posted it on my YouTube page, the community posts, and they were in a greenhouse under frost cover and they look terrible. They look terrible. They really are sad cabbage. Holman's Homestead said, don't send it this way. It's 19 here right now. Ironically, I think you guys for the winter forecast say you're going to be a lot colder than normal. I'm sorry. I'm just reporting the news, not making the forecast. But they did, because they say we're going to be mild and dry. So it's crazy. And yet Gwen at Broke Cowgirl, she's saying tornado watch for them tomorrow with the storms coming through. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I'm thankful for the snow though. I wish it was a little more, but we're early in the season. What I'm truly grateful for is we could have seen this in September and we didn't. Yes, we had an early frost. Yes, I get that. But we had such a delightful fall overall with a few cold pockets that this is hard to adjust to because we haven't had the adjustment into it, But the thing I'm grateful for is it's going to be a shorter winter, is what I keep telling myself, because it didn't start in September, October. we're at December, right? Almost at December. So we'll see how it goes. I'll make sure I said hello to everybody. How was everybody's Thanksgiving? I'm curious to hear. Annette said, I think we are at 4 inches of snow, not bad enough to really drift. Gotcha. Yeah, and the wind tonight, they say, is going to be like 40 miles an hour. Gusts, not steady, thankfully. Let's see. Gwen said we've had a couple of weeks of really nice fall weather. Good, good. Holman's Homestead said their Thanksgiving was great. That's awesome. Glad to hear. Ours was wonderful. It's usually just the two of us, and it was funny. I called a friend and I said, hey, you're going to your, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? And she said she was going to her kids, north in the northern Black Hills. And it was funny because I said, oh, okay, because we had the idea to invite them over. Well, then lo and behold, the forecast came out for Thanksgiving. And she called and said, well, we're gonna stay home instead. We're gonna do Thanksgiving another day with the kids, and, um, why don't you guys come over? We'll have a ham." And I said, "Well, you know what? We already took our stuff out, so why don't you just come over? Because we were planning on having you over." And then so we laughed about it, and then they came over, so it was nice having the 4 of us. Gwen said, "Great Thanksgiving, ate too much, still under the tryptophan influence." It was nice. We had way too much food for 4 people, way too much, but, everybody brought stuff, and we had lots of appetizers, absolutely amazing. The one big hit was or one of the big hits was, um, when I picked up my milk, the person that my friend who sells it to me, had made raw milk cream cheese, and we smoked it, and we put seasoning on it, and then we had pepper jelly over it. Oh my goodness gracious, that was amazing. So, definitely doing that again. About 6 Acres says, "Thanksgiving was fun, too much food, and grateful for leftovers." Yes. We had, minimal leftovers, and the reason why was we split it with our friends, and it was really nice because neither one of us will need to cook, and none of us have way too much leftovers, so that would be nice. Um, Annette said, "Watching everyone have turkey has been fun. Our Thanksgiving is so early." Yeah, it's different, but I think it's cool. Yours was in October, if I remember correctly, but it makes sense. Makes total sense. So, I was thinking in honor of Thanksgiving, where we need to be grateful, and Amanda got a buck yesterday. Woohoo! Yes, that's something to be grateful for. That's awesome. It was a nice looking buck too. Good job, Amanda. And her horses are doing well, Gwen, because I know they were exposed to that stuff at Waco and everything. Rebecca said, "I am not cooked for Thanksgiving." Oh, excuse me. Oxygen, needed oxygen apparently. I have not cooked for Thanksgiving yet, but I will be tomorrow. Nice. That's awesome. So yeah, so I thought we would talk about gratitude because it's very important, I feel. Not preaching anybody, but Gwen said, "Still quarantine, but all having normal daily temps." Yes, great news. Wonderful to hear. Oh, I love that. I'm sure they'll be quarantined until I think it was December 5th, if I remember correctly. Ooh, Rebecca's going to be cooking a duck with lots of vegetables. How exciting. Oh, I love duck. What kind of are you doing roast duck, I'm assuming? Yum, yum, yum. That's my fave. I love it. Hey, Spartman, you seeing snow yet, Spartman? Because I know it's snowing here. And they said more towards your side of the state is getting more. He said, "Ugh, yes." Gwen said, "Not sure on the quarantine. They keep extending stuff." Thanks, Lisa Colovi, for posting everybody's links. Annette at the Cow Emporium says, "I think being thankful is a great way to live life." Yes, very true. I'm just glad I'm not in Iowa, though they are talking a foot over there. Yes, I did see that. And they were saying that our part of South Dakota was getting clipped by that system. But it's cold. It's cold. Holy guacamole, it's cold. It was supposed to be 40 today. That was the forecast. I think we hit 36, and that was about it. But I ran out and used the hose while I could because it was 36. So everybody's got water, and then we'll just have to bucket everybody in for the next few days. Gwen was in a commercial. Big thank you to Gwen for reminding me to monetize my live because I forget every week. Not that you make much off lives, it's really just for the fun of it. Wow, 18 by Spartman. Holy guacamole. Yeah, we're looking at 26 right now, but we're gonna be 7. And then ugh, anywho, um oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I did nothing today, so I don't know why I'm tired. We just got the pigs extra bedding, got carpet up on the doors, and we're making turkey bone broth, which I think everyone who had a turkey for Thanksgiving is doing today or plans to do at some point. Below 0, yep. Yeah, we're gonna be like 18 the next 2 days and then way below 0. I know, but I really didn't do much. I mean, I'm still in my pajamas with a what do you call it? With a sweatshirt on. Yes, it is the tryptophan because we had turkey for lunch and dinner and now we're done, so that's good. So yeah, it is the tryptophan. I'm going with it. Oh, hold on. Knocked off stuff off my desk. I got yarn and everything else. We are 56 now, but there's 20s in the forecast, which is scary. Yeah, especially when you're not used to it. That's hard on the animals too when they're not used to it. Um, I do not remember signing any contract to authorize these temps. Yeah, I didn't sign it either. So, yeah, I think living in South Dakota, it's just a given. It's going to happen. But as long as overall we get some snow, but we don't have any long periods of minus 40 something degrees, I will totally be fine. I'll grumble, but I'll be fine. So let's talk attitude of gratitude. Why is that more important? Let me just look here. Let me get back up to the top. 6 benefits of gratitude. And of course, when we talk about gratitude, we're not just saying like, thanks for the big things in life. We're also appreciating little moments that sprinkle joy throughout our day. Might seem simple, although it's simple in nature, the impact can be quite powerful. By adding more gratitude to your day, you're setting yourself up for a happier and healthier life. And the best part, it's free and accessible to everyone, everywhere, at any time. Hey, LG Homestead, good to see you. Gwen says 59 here, 73 high tomorrow. I'm going to get down to 36 tomorrow night. That's quite the swing. Quite the swing. So, here are 6 benefits of gratitude. Gratitude can help you notice the positive in life. It's easy to focus on the negatives, but when you practice it, you're better able to appreciate the good stuff around you, no matter how frustrating your day has been. I know one of the things that we always say is no matter how bad things get, and of course, in the moment, we're probably like, you know what I mean? But no matter how bad things get, we always say to each other, it could always be worse. Because it's true. It could always be worse. You know, you could have a car breakdown, you could have something else, and all these equipment breakdowns and everything, and then it could always be worse. It could always be worse. And sometimes it's being thankful that it's not worse, right? Because then you're at least appreciating what you have. Annette says it seems easier to be negative. Thankfully, I'm the one who takes time to notice the small things, makes me smile. Yes, it is easier to be negative because that's how our brains are wired. It really is. It's easier for our brains to be wired towards the negative and wired towards the not noticing the small things, you know? So true. Everybody's agreeing. Annette said she had to tell her daughter, Corbin, that today. Gwen says, I always try to look at the positives and find humor in the downers. Yeah, we find a little too much humor in the downers, but because we're a little weird and dark humor over here. You know? Yeah, negative and drama titles get more clicks, but, like, there's nothing worse than somebody making clickbait, and then it's like, it has nothing to do with what their video is, right? But it's true, like, it's true. People wanna see the bad stuff. It's like a bad accident, and they have to watch kinda thing, um, which is terrible because I always think, "My gosh, somebody's day has completely changed," you know? But I think gratitude is so important because gratitude itself reminds us what's important because we always have so much stuff happening around us and we forget what really matters. And it's gratitude reminds us that we have to value what we have and value the fact that we have farm raised food and value the fact that we have a meal to have for Thanksgiving and we're able to grow stuff. If I compare that to homesteaders in particular. But I mean, this goes for everybody. I mean, we truly are blessed with a lot of blessings around us to be able to grow our own food, to be able to have clothing. I think it's huge. Gratitude encourages you to live in the present moment. And I really feel that it grounds you because you're not in the past worry like you're not worried about the past and you're not worrying about the future. You're looking at what's happening right now, which can be hard to do, but it's super helpful because it just gives you a moment to just really enjoy what's happening around you right now. For example, if you know me, I'm a crazy pig lady. And, we had the best time putting the carpet up on the doors because when you're doing stuff to their barns, right, they're kinda nosy. And they're all around, and it's like all you hear is the little pitter-patter of pig feet everywhere, the little guys, which are big guys, and then the adults are just, Eleanor, they're running around, they're rubbing on you while you're trying to do something, and we were just having a good laugh about it. Yeah, heaven forbid, Gwen, we all had to go naked. But yeah, definitely enjoying the little moments. Yeah, they always wanna help, Omen's Home said, that's right, they always wanna help. I bet your goats are nosy too. Um, Lucy, the chicken that we lost recently was a special one to me, and she, um, was always right in there when we were doing something. Always. Always wanted to help, always had to be right there. Um, and it's like, "Get out of the way." But that's the little things that make us laugh and just, you have to appreciate it because we're so blessed to be able to have them. Yep, that's right, Holman's Homestead, I know it. That's funny. Here's the other thing, because a lot of people will compare themselves on social media. I don't feel I do this. I don't compare myself. If anything, I see somebody who's got, like, this picture perfect Instagram thing, and I'm more like, "That's not true because nobody lives like that." But sometimes people feel less than when they're looking at, um, folks doing stuff. But for me, it's really about I'm thankful for what I have, and I don't worry about what other people have. I mean, sometimes I will admit, I'm like, "Oh, man, I wish we had this to work the pigs," but the reality of it is, we can't have large equipment, we have nowhere to put it, you know? It's just crazy. But I think it's good to lessen the urge to compare yourself to others because you don't need to have what they have. What you have is enough, and I think that's a big one. If goats aren't being nosy, they are rearing up to headbutt. Yeah. The bulls wanted to help Glenn last week, a little too big for that. Yes, I agree. I agree. Bulls can be very dangerous. Any livestock can be dangerous. I do know that. So I wasn't trying to blanket statement it. Um, that's okay. And she said, that is not true. So I'm assuming Annette meant to say that is so true. Comparison is the thief of joy. But yes, bulls are too big for that. But even, and I know Net does a lot of watching just because I feel that in her videos. And she's done videos of the bulls fighting and just appreciating the sheer power of them is I think gratitude too, because that they're nothing to mess with, you know? I don't know if that makes sense. If I'm going off on a tangent, say so. Gratitude can boost your mood. Think about a time someone thanked you. How did it feel? When you feel and express gratitude in your daily life, it improves your mood. Positive emotions grow, and before you know it, you're sharing that happiness with others around you. And not only that, that's where you rewire the negativity in your brain, right? The tendency to complain, the tendency not to appreciate things around you. So tell me what you think about this so far. I'm glad we don't have to have multiple bulls. No kidding. No kidding. That new bull you got is nice looking. Moods are contagious. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. If you've ever had a coworker or a family member or a friend who was always negative, it's draining. Draining, draining, draining. And it drags you down to the dark side. So be the light and drag everybody else up with you. But I'm serious. I'm laughing, but I'm serious. It really is helpful because when you're around a negative Nancy, that is not pleasurable at all. At all. Gratitude helps to strengthen relationships. So you're not sharing it just for you. When you express it to others, it helps to strengthen your bonds. Maybe it's thanking a friend or being there or appreciating a family member's effort in making dinner. It's a simple way to make connections even stronger. There's a lot of times I say thank you to the mister, and I don't need to say thank you, but I say it because I am grateful for what I have in a spouse. And I think that's important, because sometimes it's, I can do it myself, but I have somebody who can do it better and quicker than me and is willing to help me. I'm grateful for that. So tell me what you think about, tell me what your thoughts are on gratitude, because it's so important. So important. And you guys tell me about what you think about gratitude, and then I'm going to talk about after that 9 ways to feel more grateful overall. And I think that's helpful. It is so easy that we can just send a text to tell someone how they are such a bright spot in our day life. Absolutely. Absolutely. I could not agree more. It's so easy to just say good morning and thank you for being in my life. I appreciate you, and it doesn't take anything out of your day. And yet it can boost so much. Gwen said, absolutely. I tell Gary, thank you, even when it's just opening a jar. Yes. Yes. That is perfection. Absolutely. Because it's somebody took a minute to help you. I think it's really important. So 9 ways to feel more grateful. And just let's be clear, embracing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring life's challenges. It means choosing to focus more attention on the positives than the negatives. This in turn brings more abundance into your daily life. So that's the good thing. So first of all, find your why. Before anything else, ask yourself why you want to be more grateful. It might be for your own mental health benefits. You might be looking to have stronger bonds with your family and friends. Whatever your reason, knowing why you want to add more gratitude into your life will keep you motivated. And I will tell you a really cool thing. They have these calendars, right? I know you don't need this, right? And you have to buy something. You don't have to do that. But what I'm saying is if you're having a hard time, you know, excuse me, incorporating gratitude into your day, gratitude journals are great. I had an app on my phone that I used to type in every day things that I was grateful for. It didn't matter if they were repetitive, it didn't matter if I was adding new ones. I just did that, and it just was good structure for me and was very helpful when I first started, like, really looking at stuff like this. The other thing people can do is they have those 365-day calendars where they have them on gratitude. Or you can just get in the habit of having, like, a mason jar or a old jelly jar or whatever, and putting it on the table with a pen and paper and writing down 3 things that you are grateful for every day. And what happens is I'll speak from my experience, you start to see more and more things that you are grateful for. Instead of repeating every day, you're actually picking up on more things, if that makes sense. I hate when I can't open a jar. You wanna know what the worst is? We have a mason jar full of, not a mason jar. Yes, a ball jar, canning jar of honey, and I bought this thing to use for when I have my tea because it has a little metal ball in it and has a metal lid. No matter how careful I am and I wipe the rim of the jar for that one with the screw on, I can't get the darn thing open. Ryan almost couldn't get it open yesterday, and I was like, "This is ridiculous." Maddening, maddening. Start small when adding gratitude to your daily life. If you're new to the practice, start by identifying one thing you're thankful for each day. Over time, this list is going to naturally grow. You don't need to find big reasons to be grateful for. It could be enjoying a sunny day, the taste of your favorite ice cream, a message from a friend. You took 5 minutes to enjoy the sunrise, anything like that. Hey, busy you, Farm and Fibers. I put an alarm on my phone to remind me to think of what I am grateful for daily. I love that. That is so cool. What a great way to just stop and think. There's some days I have my eyes in the morning and I'm just like, I'm grateful I'm alive. It starts that early. It really does. It's so important. I love that. Alarm on the phone. That's a great idea. I'm gonna put that on the screen so you guys can see that. Gwen says, I do get to see the sunrise, but I also like to sleep through it. I'm laughing, Gwen, because I grew up in New York City and the Thanksgiving Day parade was always a tradition in our house. And I guess I never realized what time it was started. Have a great weekend. Have a great night. Stay safe and warm. Homan's Homestead. Thanks for being here. And I'm laughing because yesterday it dawned on me it started at 8:30, which would have been 6:30 here. Yeah, I'm thankful for the replay because I wasn't doing it. I'll wait for the replay now these days. Um, use visual gratitude reminders. So what's a visual gratitude reminder? It's a great way to strengthen the habit of being grateful is through using gratitude signs. So it's like in the same way we use alarms to wake up or remind us of appointments, we can use gratitude signs to stop and remind us to be grateful throughout the day. That's sort of like what Busy You was saying. Some examples of signs you can use are red traffic lights, the sound of a creaky door, an airplane flying above, or children's laughter. It doesn't matter what you choose. The point is, every time you notice that sign, you stop for a moment and feel grateful. I really like that. I really like that. I think that's really cool. If you guys are wondering what article I'm reading through, this is from calm.com. So I just wanted to let you know that. So I put the link in the chat if you're interested. You can even create your own gratitude reminders, put up sticky notes with messages to ask yourself what made you smile today, or a reminder to name one good thing from that day. Place them where you'll see them often, on your bathroom mirror, your fridge, or next to your bed. That way, the notes will prompt you to think about moments of gratitude in your day. I like that. Number 4 is document what you're grateful for. And that's the gratitude journal, like I talked about. Every night before bed, write down 3 things that made you feel grateful that day. And again, they don't have to be significant. It may be a neighbor said hello. You saw a cute dog on your walk, but by consistently writing it down, what you're thankful for, you're reinforcing the positive stuff, positive emotions, positive memories, and also just cultivating feelings of gratitude. Next to your bed. I heard next to your butt. If it works for you, Gwen, go for it. Just, do that next to your butt. Okay. Gotta have fun. Gotta have fun. So number 5 is cultivate feelings of gratitude by saying it out loud. Expressing gratitude can be as simple as saying thank you. If someone holds the door for you, acknowledge it with a smile and a thanks. If somebody shares something with you, let them know that you appreciate it. Not only does it elevate your mood, but it also can brighten somebody else's day. And, the reality of it is we never know what people are going through, right? Gwen says, yes, it has to be out loud. Has to be out loud. Absolutely. Absolutely. Part of the reason why it has to be out loud is your brain has to hear it, right? Sometimes when you say things out loud, your brain hears it differently, the way our brains work. And it's really great. It really does it, because I can tell you, even when I used to have to write papers for school and I would get stuck, right? I'd get stuck in this perfectionism loop. And one of the things I used to do, and this is not gratitude, right? But this is the talking out loud thing, is I would be staring at a computer at a blank page and I would be like, Lisa, cut it out. Cut it out. And it was like what was called as thought stopping. I would say, stop, just write. So I think that's really helpful. Annette at the Cow Emporium says, even if I am by myself, I say it out loud. Absolutely. Absolutely. Gary laughs at me because I tell my chickens thank you when I gather the eggs. Annette does the same thing. I do too. I'm like, thank you for the eggs. Conversely, I'll be honest, I also say, you're going in the pot if we don't get eggs. Sorry, but I'm being honest. Absolutely. Absolutely. I went out yesterday morning when I fed the pigs and I was like, happy Thanksgiving. You need to be grateful today. And I was like, Grant, what are you grateful for? Are you grateful for some food? They kind of looked at me, but they were happy they got fed. Number 6 is practice mindfulness to create an attitude of gratitude. Being present in the moment allows you to truly appreciate where you are. Discover the power of mindfulness by embracing the present moment, by trying like a gratitude meditation practice. One of the things, and I've said this a million times before, but my friend Erin at Bramble Hill Homestead once said to me, I did a video around New Year's time, and she had said to me, like a few months later or 6 months later said, "Do you realize you met all your goals that you set in that video?" And I had to stop and think, and I went back and watched the video, right? Because sometimes we post it, we don't go back. Well, she said that to me, and she really encouraged me to go back and watch older videos. And so I started doing that. And boy, I tell you, talk about gratitude and blessings. I went back to that video. We only had chickens. That was all we had was chickens. And I said we wanted to add pigs, we wanted to add turkeys, we wanted to add, so on and so forth, and have piglets and everything, and it was down the line or whatever. And she was like, "You need to go back and watch your older videos." And I did. And when I did that, I said, "Holy guacamole. Look at how far we have come in a little short time." Like, instead of focusing on the hard work, it was looking back at all we had accomplished, and it's made a huge deal. So every once in a while, I'll go back and I'll watch an old video of when we first started, which I thought was so boring, but we had a lot of projects going on. I mean, we both were working full time and doing projects nonstop every night and on the weekends. And I could not believe all the infrastructure we built and put up and so on. And that's why I don't do as many videos now. I really don't have a ton of projects. We do stuff, don't get me wrong. There's always something, but it's not like we're building barns and we're building this and so it's just really cool to just go back and look at where you started and where you're at right now. So I encourage you to go back and look. In fact, there was one video we posted, and it was called Raw Footage, and it was when we first bought the house, we had to move a coop because they had the previous owners, they worked for their purpose, but not for us. They had everything all jammed in this one thing, and it sort of made a yard or a run in between the three buildings. And for their purpose, like I said, worked perfectly, not for us. We've since sold the building that we moved, but all we had was a John Deere lawnmower tractor. Ryan had this big metal pry bar, and he moved things with leverage because that's all we had. We had chains, a lawnmower tractor, and a bar. That was all we had to move buildings. And it was really cool. And if I remember, I'll post it to our community page. And if you're looking for it, you'll be able to see it. But that was the only footage I had. And it was just so funny. It was like, that's how we moved a lot of our buildings. We had that building, and then we had the small building that the boys are in right now. We moved that from behind our house, but then we had the side by side. So that was different. But it's a shame I didn't have a lot of footage of it, but I just thought it was neat to look back. Like, I remember that day, and that was hard work. And I remember every time he pulled on the darn building, because we had a wood sled under it, like we made a wood sled underneath. And excuse me, the building was rotting. So we were trying to save what we could. And he was pulling it and the sled pulled out. That's what eventually ended up happening. And we had to lift it and move it with the pry bars again. Unbelievable. Anyway, sorry, I got off on a tangent because I just remember being so mind blown by that. Spartman said, "Yuck, went out to start the car. It's snowing and blowing, and I already have some drifts around the car." Oh no, I'm sorry, Spartman. How late do you work until 11? Gwen says, "I remember one of those moving building with the lawnmower." Yeah. Yeah, we did that with the lawnmower, and then we had the side-by-side winch, and we did the same thing and pulled the other building and put it where we wanted it. Oh, okay, as soon as the car warms up tonight. Okay, good. Please be careful going home. Good, good. Be careful driving. Watch out for others too, because that's sometimes the concern. Number 7 is set aside a dedicated gratitude time each day. So dedicate a few minutes to just simply sit, Think about things that you're grateful for. Sometimes in the morning or in the evening as you wind down, make it a regular part of your routine so you can turn it into a habit. And I got two more. Be kind to yourself. Some days it may be difficult to find gratitude, and that's perfectly normal. No one should feel pressured or feel gratitude every single day. Inevitably, there will be days when it doesn't come naturally. However, cultivating a gratitude practice requires consistent effort, and be gentle with yourself on the challenging days. My thoughts on that is on the challenging days, start to look at nature around you. It, you know, it could be, I'm thankful that I woke up this morning. I'm thankful and grateful for listening to my rooster crow or something simple. Sometimes it's easier to start with something simple if it's something you struggle with. And then 9 is try this simple gratitude exercise whenever you need a boost of gratitude. Excuse me. It says, one practice you can do anytime to experience the benefits of gratitude is to take a moment to reflect back on a previous time that you felt grateful. It could be a time you were the recipient of kindness or achieved success, a moment where you appreciated your health, your home, or a talent or quality you possess. Perhaps it was a moment you enjoyed a celebration or being with a loved one. Just choose any moment you remember being full of gratitude. Reflect on that time and in your mind, experience it again as though you were enjoying it right now. View the scene as if it were a movie. Hear the sounds around you, especially if you're outside. Feel any sensations that arise. See the faces of any people nearby. Inhale deeply and feel the joy of that moment and the delight that comes with gratitude. Spend some time just enjoying how you feel. And remember, you can always come back to these feelings even during hard days. Dovey's cold nose on my foot woke me up this morning. That's gratitude right there. What a precious little doll. Oh, she is just so cute. Those are the little things, Guarantee a lot of people don't recognize that. Those are the little things, you know. I have the camera on to watch the piglets, and especially now as it's getting colder, they're getting to the point where they won't be able to fit under the gate anymore. So one of the things that I do is I feed them and then I watch to make sure that they get in the barn. And if they don't get in the barn an hour and a half later, because that's how long they lick their bowls for, um, I can go down and look. Now I can just walk down there, but with the camera, which I'm really grateful for, I can just look and see if they're in there. And then, it's just funny because, I've posted videos like Fiona, I've posted on Fiona where she's locked herself in the summertime where she can't get back out into the pasture and she's just looking so pitiful, and I go open the gate and she looks grateful, because she loves to be out in that grass and just laying out in the grass in the summer. Annette said it's the little things that help me be calm. I'm in the moment. Yeah, it's true. It's so good for us, to be, I don't know. I'm so glad to be out of that rat race of stuff because for me it was challenging to stay positive, challenging to be grateful. And not gonna lie, I had some moments, but just being home, it's just like I wake up every day and I just love what we're doing. It's never a question of are we doing enough? We're doing everything we want to do. Could we do more? Yes. Will it tax the land? Yes. Do we need to? No. But we're raising our food. We're raising our food. And that's what we set out to do in 2020, and that's what we're doing. We've always been heavier on the meat side of things, with the exception of beef, but we also are just grateful for the garden bounties we've been getting the past 2 years. The past 2 years have been amazing. You know, if the freezer is full, the freezer is full, and whether it's filled with all meat or meat from local farms or veggies from us or from the farmers market, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled because that's what we wanted to do. Tell me what you guys think about gratitude. I want to hear from you guys. You've heard enough of me talking. I'm going to take a drink here. I'm getting stuffy sitting in here. I don't know why. It's cold in here. When I have to close the door, it gets cold in here because the heat's not coming in. Still addicted to my bad stuff I shouldn't be drinking. I'm glad you guys had a good Thanksgiving, though. I'm laughing because Gwen said, okay, Spartman, get home safe. Gwen says, grateful. You too, Spartman. Have a good one. Be careful. Gwen said, grateful I did not have to participate in Black Friday shopping today. Spent the day in quiet working on Dovey's quilt. I can't wait to see that. And I love that you worked on that. That is so cool. I could have been knitting and I chose not to. I really, like I said, I just did, some things this morning and then the rest of the day kind of screwed off, which was kind of nice. Kind of nice. Not going to lie. I will say one Black Friday purchase I made, because we don't do gifts, so we don't buy gifts. But one thing, I usually try to look at Black Friday deals because it's the time you can get stuff cheap, right? It's sad, but true. Sawdust Publishing is Janet Garman from Timber Creek Farm on Instagram, her publishing company with her family. So it's a small business. I bought the Clabber book from them, and they tend to publish, homestead books. She has a natural wool dye book, and I've been wanting it for like 3 years. And they had 25% off, and I bought it. I am grateful for all the friends we have met on YouTube all over the world. That's Annette at the Cow Emporium. Me too. What a wonderful, wonderful thing. And speaking of that, for those of you that know, why am I drawing a blank on? Oh, this is embarrassing. I'm drawing a blank. I know his name. I can't remember the channel. Oh, My Aussie Gardening Kitchen. Daz at My Aussie Gardening Kitchen. I say this because he has been posting on his community page. Now it's a post, the feed, the post thing for your channel versus a community tab. He's been sick. So go send some love and kindness and prayers to him. Go take a look at his community page. Let him know we sent you, because he's a real sweet man and kindness wins. And he would be extremely grateful. I know it. If you guys went over, and I'm so glad he's home now. Me too, Annette. I'm so glad. I don't peruse the YouTube feed. I'm really bad about it. I just don't like the way it operates. That's my thing. It gets a little repetitive when there's like 40 people sharing the same video. So that's my problem. So it's not you guys. But I don't know. I think it popped up on Thanksgiving, and I saw the latest that he was home because he was having some health issues. So he's just such a sweetheart. Hey, our frugal cozy home. I'm assuming that is Annie, because you said Perth, Australia. So I'm assuming that's you, that you changed your channel name. He is a fellow Aussie. He's a good man. So I'm just so glad he's home. Grateful he's okay and he's with his family because it's hard when you worry about somebody and you can't, it's hard to do much. You know what I mean? You send a message and stuff, but kind of hard. You want to do more like bring a meal, right? So what do you guys have planned for the weekend? I'm trying to think what we are doing. Hibernating. We are hibernating because it's going to be very, very cold. So we are hibernating and taking care of critters. That's about all we're doing. Making bone broth, obviously doing things around the house inside because we've got stuff going on. Annette says car shopping, blah. Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm sorry that you have to do that. And I agree. I can't imagine how he was managing. It's so hard. Um, keeping water from freezing. Gosh, that is a never-ending challenge. We'll be going through that, Annette, for the next several months, but gosh, I'll be sorry, I knocked something over. My yarn winder fell off. Sorry about that. I'll be watching you with an axe doing that, and I'll be thinking, oh, poor woman's arm. 3 tank heaters plugged in today. Yes. Yes. I'm so glad that you got that in. Gwen has said she's working on this quilt, staying safe, dry, and warm. Good for you. Yes. Prayers for Gwen because they're under tornado warnings for tomorrow, or conditions for tornadoes, I should say. And he said, you are correct. I've changed my channel name to reflect everything we are trying to accomplish. I was stuck on what to film, so the name change will include everything we want to accomplish. Well, I think that's great, Annie. I'm really glad that you found something that works for you. Good for you. It used to be Our Urban Homestead, right? Yeah, so now it's Our Frugal Cozy Home. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I think that's it. We'll be cooking bone broth until I think till no, maybe tomorrow. I'm not going to do it as long as the beef, but I think I'll do it tomorrow. If it turns out to be just stock instead of bone broth, I'm okay with that. It's already looking really good. But we'll be getting that done. Hey, Troy Sutton, good to see you. No worries, no worries. We got a few more minutes. What are you up to this weekend, Troy? And how was your Thanksgiving? You're welcome, Annie. You're welcome. I wish you well. Gwen says, I'm not doing turkey broth this time. No, if you got plenty, no need to do it. We used the last of our old stock for, not old, but it needed to be done. So we used the rest of it, for Thanksgiving. So it was time to make more. And I'm doing it in the roaster like I did the beef. And the reason why is because it was just so stinking easy and not standing over the stove and putting it in the fridge at night and just keeping it constantly at 200 and heating up. So I boost up to like 250 during the day or so, letting it cook down. But it's looking amazing, smells amazing. I just love it. And I'm probably going to do the same with chicken. I figure I bought that stupid roaster and I was not pleased with it for the purposes I planned on using it for. So since we spent the money on it on a Black Friday deal a couple years ago, I'm going to use it for to make it convenient for me. And then what we'll do is strain it and can it up. All right, y'all. Well, oops, sorry about that. About 6 acres said, good night, all. I'm so tired, struggling to stay awake. Have a great night. Have a great night, Juana. And everybody, I'm going to get going myself because I want to go see the snow outside. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for being here. Appreciate the willingness to listen to the gratitude stuff. And if you have any ideas on things you want to talk about, just shoot me a message on Instagram or send me an email at yogihollofarm20@gmail.com. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Take care.